But listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor,
Miss Pugh,
we're
don't
not
speak over me.
corporation.
Miss Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on. Listen, Miss Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me.
Where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
You can go back with the bailiff. Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like.
Sure. Here's a rewritten version of your text with a more polished and neutral tone, while keeping the sarcastic and commentary style vibe. All right, folks, today we've got quite the showdown. A no-nonsense judge versus a full-on sovereign citizen. This woman actually showed up with one of those tiny slips of paper loaded with the usual sovereign citizen script, like she really thought she could waltz in, drop some legal truth bombs, and walk out a free person. Spoiler alert, she didn't. Honestly, it's impressive she managed to read the thing at all. This one's definitely going to be wild. Let me know in the comments what you think about her antics, and let's dive into this chaotic courtroom moment. Would you like a version that's more serious, humorous, or for a specific platform, like YouTube or TikTok?
I'm the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the what?
I'm the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the beneficiary of what estate? Answer my questions, please, ma'am. I'm just trying to understand.
Beneficiary of that estate.
Okay.
For the record, I recognize Ms. Pugh, she's been here before.
I do as well, for the record.
And I looked into Mr. Christopher Wiley. I can't find that person as a practicing lawyer in the state bar page, and I have not been contacted by anybody on Ms. Pugh's behalf.
All right, so Ms. Pugh, Mr. Lewis has been appointed to represent you at this point. Obviously, you know as well as anyone that you're in custody and we want to get your case taken care of. If you've hired or your family has hired another lawyer, then they have to contact the court so that we can do something with your case. And do you know if they've hired someone?
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree with your appointed foreign agents, considering that the first duty is to the state and will be considered conflict of interest. Your Honor.
Okay, so if you don't want, the only thing I can do, I'm appointing an attorney to you to help you, right? So if you don't want a court-appointed attorney, then your only option, two things. One is to represent yourself or to hire a lawyer. So if you don't like the way it works, then you do something different. So are you, listen to what I'm saying. Are you either going to represent yourself? Or are you going to let Mr. Lewis represent you? Or are you going to hire someone?
Objection, Your Honor. Respectfully, is this a court of record?
It is a court of record. So your objection's overruled.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
It's right here. It's called an indictment. And Mr. Lewis has a copy of it and he can show it to you. So that would be the verified claim against you.
Okay. Your Honor, respectfully, Your Honor, there were writs that was filed to the case that still haven't been received.
I've received your petition for writ of habeas corpus and it's denied.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, I demand to be released due to lack of evidence of stated claim and not being given the proper opportunity to obtain proper counsel, effective defense.
It's overruled.
Here's a shorter and more polished version that keeps the sarcastic, commentary-style tone. This is honestly wild. She's making a complete fool of herself, and the judge is just calmly waiting for her to run out of steam. Gotta love the patience. These sovereign citizen types always think they've cracked some secret legal cheat code, like saying, "I don't consent" is going to erase charges. Newsflash. That's not how the law works. What really gets me is that she seems polite, saying "Your Honor" and all, but it's clear she's totally lost. How did she even get here? Reading the script is one thing, but actually using it in court? That's next-level delusion. Let me know what you think, because this train wreck is far from over. Let's get back into it. Want it to sound more professional or more comedic? Clips, absolutely. Here's a cleaner, sharper version that keeps the tone fun and sarcastic while tightening up the flow. Yeah, that was embarrassing. But hang on, because it's not over yet. This sovereign citizen actually comes back for a follow-up hearing, and don't worry, I've got that one ready for you too. At this point, the judge honestly deserves an award for patience. Dealing with someone like this is like arguing with a brick wall, except the brick wall thinks it's a constitutional law expert. Huge props to the judge, though. She's staying calm, trying to make sense of this legal gibberish and somehow still keeping her cool. She's got a snappy edge, but she's being surprisingly patient, which I respect. What do you think of the judge? So far? Personally, I think she's handling this like a pro. Now let's jump into the next hearing and see if things get even more ridiculous. Let's dive in. Want it with a more comedic punch or a more serious tone?
I appreciate your position, but listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor,
Miss Pugh, don't speak over me.
Respectfully, Your Honor, with my incarceration.
Miss Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on, listen to me. Everything you have there is overruled. And here's one of the reasons why, is because you have a lawyer. And your lawyer will file the appropriate motion. You're interrupting me again, which is disrespectful. So I'm going to leave Mr. Lewis as your attorney unless you choose to represent yourself or hire someone else. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to determine what you're going to do. You can go back. You can go back with the bailiff.
I do not agree or comply to your appointed.
Go back.
Agents.
You already said that, and that's overruled.
Is to the state.
Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like.
Absolutely. Here's a polished and slightly tightened version that keeps your original tone and commentary style. I swear, I knew she was going to say that. These sovereign citizens have officially infiltrated my brain. At this point, I'm losing brain cells by the day just breaking down their nonsense. They're insufferable, ignorant, and honestly, it's sad to watch. Some of them probably are struggling with mental health issues, but that doesn't excuse the way they waste public time and resources. Courts and law enforcement have limited bandwidth, and these people show up thinking they can hijack the whole system with their bogus arguments. On another note, I'm kind of surprised she didn't bring her little script this time. Maybe stay under county jurisdiction gave her enough time to memorize it. But real talk, if she ends up representing herself, she could be staring down 8 to 10 years. Let's jump back in and see if she really plans to defend herself, because if she does, it's not going to end well. Want me to write this in a YouTube script format next?
So, Miss Pugh, Mr. Jeffries has been appointed to represent you. He's trying to get caught up real quickly on all the information and the discovery in your case. I'm going to reset your case so that he can get all of that. Once he gets it, he'll be out there to go over it with you, and we'll see if we can get an announcement at the next court date.
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree to comply with any of the appointed court agents, considering that their first duty is to the state.
I understand. We've had this conversation before.
Confidential. And for your record, I'll be representing myself.
So if you want to represent yourself, there's some things. Ms. Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me. If you want to represent yourself, then there is a process that we have to go through, and we'll do that today if that's what you want to do. We'll get your case set for trial and we'll go forward that way. It is highly inadvisable for you to represent yourself. Lawyers have many, many years of training. They understand the law. They understand how a trial works, because here's what happens. When you're in a trial and you represent yourself, you're expected to know and follow all of the rules of evidence, all the rules of procedure. And so you're really at a disadvantage if you don't know those things. And so you have to do everything just like the assistant district attorney would. And if you don't, you're going to be in front of a jury and it's going to show, and it's just not going to be, it usually does not work out in your benefit. But I have to go through with you some questions first before we do that. And then if you still want to do that, then there's a couple of things couple of options, and we'll go over those as well. Okay. So I am supposed to ask you, I'm going to go through these questions. I need you to answer them if you want to represent yourself, because this is required. All right. So have you ever studied the law? Okay. Have you ever represented yourself before in any kind of criminal matter? Okay. Do you understand the charges against you?
I know we've been accused of.
Okay. And so do you know, and we've gone over before, I think, what the range of punishment is if you're found guilty on a jury? Do you know what that is? Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me pull you up here. We'll go over that again as well. The date of that allegations from June 22nd of 2021. And what that means is if you're found guilty, that the range of punishment that the jury could give you is between 2 years as a minimum punishment up to 10 years in prison, anywhere in between. Do you understand? And you answer out loud just for the record.
Do I understand?
Of course. Here's a cleaner, well-paced rewrite that keeps your personality and tone while making it a bit more polished for video or social content. I've got to say, I think this judge handled things like a total pro. 10 out of 10, no question. Let me know if you disagree. But in my opinion, she did everything in her power to give this sovereign citizen a fair hearing before finally having her removed from the courtroom. The level of patience she showed was honestly impressive. I mean, I probably would have snapped within the first 10 minutes, but the judge kept her cool the whole time. That said, it's kind of sad watching people go down this path. The judge really did try to give her multiple chances to explain herself, but we all knew how this was going to end. Also, huge apology to anyone who lost brain cells during this video. I get it. Watching sovereign citizens try to make legal arguments is pure cringe, but it's also just too entertaining to look away. The way they squirm in front of a judge, scrambling for some made-up legal magic trick. It's like watching someone try to dance out of a corner with no rhythm. Painful, but fascinating. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you thought of this hearing. How do you think the judge handled it? I'd love to hear your takes. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like and subscribe. I post new videos daily, so stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching, and take care, everyone. Want a version that's even shorter or tailored for platforms like TikTok or YouTube Shorts?
I don't understand, Your Honor.
So here's the thing. If you want to represent yourself by law, you have to be able to understand these things. Otherwise, I've got to appoint an attorney for you. So you can't just say, I want to represent myself because I don't like the attorney or I don't like the process. This is the process that you're in. You live in Texas, you live in the United States. This is the law that applies to your case. So what do you not understand about the range of punishment if you're found guilty? And I'd be glad to explain it.
I don't understand because I've never even been wrong.
That's what a jury's for, right? And so if you say you're not guilty, then you go in front of a jury and they determine after they listen to the evidence if you're guilty or not. That doesn't have anything to do with if they find you guilty, you understanding that they could send you to prison for between 2 years and up to 10 years. Do you understand that part? What are you, yes or no? No, you don't understand that. So, Ms. Pugh, it's my understanding, I'm not going to allow you to represent yourself because you don't understand the law and the process. So we're on question number 4 out of 15 that I'm supposed to ask you. So Mr. Jeffries is going to stay on your case. I don't care what you want at this point. You can't do it. All right, you can go back with the bailiff. I'm done. Go back with the bailiff. Go back with the bailiff. Welcome to the criminal appointment list.
Yeah, fun, Judge.
This was not meant to be any kind of punishment, I promise. So Mr. Jeffries, just get ready like you would. Probably it's going to go straight onto a jury,
Right, I would
and
assume.
we'll just get it figured out that way.